They're the worst. They're the worst.
Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Reboot or Deboot. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Peanut.
And we are here to talk about the 1995 Ong Lee movie, The Wedding Banquet, directed by Ong Lee, written by Neil Peng and James Seamus. Oh, and Ong Lee. Big picture?
I mean, I didn't know what really to know about it.
I have no idea.
We talked about it before the previous episode when we were picking, and I had just seen the source that we typically use to find remakes had updated and picked this one literally arbitrarily because there was a recent remake. And I saw, again, obviously some prominent things, 90s, which, can be very hit or miss and have plenty of things to talk about just of that decade. It had Ong Lee attached to it, and it just said romantic gay comedy. And I was kind of like, okay, these are all things that could go in a number of directions, all of which discussable. And I think it sort of did all the things that it might have been able to do. It did, sort of gay film, I think, some justice. It wasn't just like tropey gay story. It felt quote unquote real in a sense. There was a good sort of general direction. There was obviously a couple of big flaws in my personal opinion that we'll dig into, but overall, I'm surprised and happy that I picked this arbitrarily, and it turned out to be pretty good.
No, I think like you said, real is probably the best way to describe this, because obviously, it's got those kind of 90s trappings or what have you, but it feels as though these are just people and not just, okay, characters in a movie. I get it, yada, yada. It feels alive and vibrant. And like you said, direction. I guess we'll just get into it because, solid movie. I was very surprised by it, is the big picture for me. But specifics, you want to get into it?
Yeah, you start.
Okay, I'll just circle back to the real thing. There are very few movies that I think are able to convey such a realistic situation and even reactions to situations where it's almost crazy to think that they'd be okay with this life, post credits. But that's kind of the realism in a way, because crazier stuff always happens just all the time. No matter the family, there's always going to be crazy, nonsense that you might think, oh, they're crazy for doing that. And that's a perfect kind of this movie. Everyone's kind of crazy, but it adds the sense of realism that you can just enjoy just from a human perspective or an emotional perspective.
To beat that nail in, if any of the listeners have family members and you've gone, why the fuck did you do that? It's like that is real. Like, if you've never questioned the behavior of someone intimately, let alone obviously a character that you don't know well at all, that they have to establish completely, it's not foreign to say that people can behave in ways that are unexpected, and that can certainly add a level of realism.
Yeah, and I'll just keep going with it. Even it's not perspective. Damn it, I lost the word. Whatever. Portrayal. There we go. Gosh. Even its portrayal of spoilers for anyone who might want to watch the movie. Even its portrayal of a gay guy, sleeping with the woman that, whatever things happen or whatever things went too far, yada yada. Even that's super real. That just happens, and rarely do movies actually get into stuff like that. It's usually just like, okay, this gay character's gay for good, or it'll be, oh, this gay guy is now straight or something like, what was it, like Chasing Amy? Isn't that the movie where the lesbian turns straight, It's just, That's not how it works, Kevin, but whatever. This movie, it's just, I don't know, even when you look at like sexuality or his kind of traditional parents, it's all just gives it, again, the sense of realism. I'll say it over and over again, but it just makes it feel alive, and it makes it feel like this movie goes on past the credits, which is always cool.
I agree with all those statements, but I want to caveat here that that scene in particular was a negative for me. Only in the sense that the way it's portrayed. There are so many ways that you could have portrayed this complicated, like faux domestic relationship that turns into some real thing, or maybe a guy who has had to suppress all of his sort of like homosexual urges for whatever societal norms or, generational norms. Turns out maybe he's a little bit more bi than he thought he might be. Like those are all fine ways to explore that topic. I don't know in the way that it's presented, which trigger warning is essentially a rape.
Oh yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely a rape. Yeah.
is like a way to do that tastefully. And while I agree with you, the implications of that, obviously there's pregnancy and other components all tied up in this. Um, but the way they sort of gloss over the non-consensual part,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like Simon being frustrated that he got a woman knocked up is one thing, but apparently off, camera, something we don't get to see the characters actually do is this discussion about I was drunk, it didn't make sense, and he's like, I could have forgiven that, but you got her pregnant, and you're like, wait, he was drunk, and she literally said, I'm gonna convert you, or
Right.
whatever exact word she said,
Liberate
like,
you is the
yeah, I'm
translation
gonna
it gave us.
liberate you, yeah, like, nah, bro, like you just straight up had a dude raped and said things were fine, and now we don't have to go into all the specifics about how everyone was also totally fine with like watching Khaleesi get raped in episode 1. Like that's totally fine of Game of Thrones,
Right. No,
But
yeah. I mean, yeah, I totally see, I totally understand what you're saying. I don't know. That feels again, that feels weirdly real just because I don't know, no one's gonna act or react perfectly to something as fucked up as that. So I honestly, the whole movie, I'm sympathizing with Simon, just being like, man, you don't deserve this guy. You don't deserve any
yeah,
of this.
yeah. No, that's I think that's tied into my negative of the rape is that the like constant getting fucked, metaphorically and emotionally by Simon is just not cool. Like, at no point does he really get resolution. He just
Nope.
sort of gets beaten into submission,
Yeah,
you
he's got
know?
to turn the other cheek the entire time, the entire movie, even till the end. I mean,
Yeah, it's kind
but
of wild.
I mean, talking, what, bringing Simon up, I think he's the best character. I don't know whether it was him not overacting like the rest of the cast or just the smart script or what have you. But I mean, he wasn't the main character, but at the same time, he was my main focus because I'm just, what are the implications of Simon? Man, Simon must really love this guy, yada, yada, yada. And I think that just, not only was the character work solid, I think the script was very solid. I mean, we got to know our characters immediately. It took seconds of them being on screen, before we said, okay, that's this character. And that's always, that's always solid. And the script was snappy. The movie had this kind of, I don't know what to call it, almost jazzy feel, where it was just always moving. There was a momentum just carried throughout until it kind of took a, darker turn or what have you. But there's just always this momentum just going on, and you're never ever bored in this movie, which is weird, because I guess technically this is a rom-com, which I don't think rom-com is a genre known for its excitement. But this movie just does have a snappiness, and I don't know whether that's the script or Ang Lee's direction. All I know is it's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I mean, totally agreed. My only caveat will be I don't know if Simon was my favorite character. He was definitely up there. I really liked the dad, and I
Yeah, the
thought the dad
commander.
was the
Hmm.
only, yeah, the only character who did not overact besides Simon. So like then it was a comparison of, not just adding points because they're acting typically, but now who's acting very, very well, and he was killing the game.
Yeah, I mean, even the mom, she was overacting, but it was still a believable parent. The couple, they were believable parents to have raised this kind of closeted way. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just this movie just feels so lived in. I just don't know another word for that. Because it's not gritty, but it's real. I'll also say I liked how the movie looked. I think the color grading was cool. I think it just had this nice vibrant style that matched the whole snappiness I was, saying. Um, or even some of the shots. I mean, I really was impressed by some of Ong Lee's direction, especially the shot where Wei is running through the hospital hallway to meet his dad for, after he had the
Right.
stroke. And the camera's just doing this kind of, it's meeting with Wei. And, once it meets and then Wei realizes he's kind of in the wrong spot, then the camera pans back out and we follow his kind of journey, even though he's just in a hallway. It's crazy that they can make a guy running down a hallway this interesting, almost, I don't know, almost a representation for the entire movie, just a dude running down a hallway, and that's just, I don't know what it is. Ong Lee just has the eye for it or something, but he impressed me with this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I have very, very few negatives. The problem is the two negatives that I have are very, very big. Just to piggyback off a couple of things you said, cinematographically great, direction wise great, editing great. The 90s ness was tame. It
Yeah.
was definitely of the time, but it wasn't like categorically wrong. You had your cell phone jokes and you had your finance bros in New York things. You had the um complicated sort of geopolitics and Clinton-y stuff. Like there was a few of these like little one-off haha chortle things that were totally fine and not every fucking beat. I think an important thing that I gave a positive that you didn't particularly mention was how actually funny the movie was.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the levity was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, even if I wasn't like actually laughing, you could just feel the lightness and sort of ease of those tense moments with everything. Like I smiled so many times at the movie, like and completely watching it by myself. Like that's just a nod to a good rom com in general. Like when it does make you feel good. Again, I don't want to bring up the negatives repeatedly, but I just do think in the back of your mind, you sit with it and you're like, if this just didn't have a rape, would this just be a very fucking good movie? Like, why did I have to see a rape? Like, that, I'm just so confused by that. Like, how's that integral to the story? Why couldn't they just had a consensual baby?
It's just raw. I don't know, man. I can't explain why I think that's just more raw in a way. I really don't defend sexual assault in plots a lot. Just so we're clear. So anyone listening's
Mhm.
clear. But no, also, I mean, I know you mentioned the charm and the humor, and I mean specifically I'll bring up the scene where Simon finds out about the pregnancy and the commander just is, you can't put your foot in your mouth if you don't say anything.
Right.
It's
Yep.
just so good. And he says, "Keep eating, just keep eating." And there are just so many scenes where it's kind of dark and kind of dreary, but then boom, humor comes back to kind of lighten the mood. And it doesn't do that all the time. It knows when to not do that. When Wei is coming out to his mom. I mean, there's not a joke. No joke in sight. It's heavy, it's direct, it's emotional, no joke in sight. And then boom, 5 minutes later, or 10, 15 minutes later, I don't know when that happened really in the movie. 10 minutes later, they're saying goodbye at the airport and looking at the photos and such. It's just Ong Lee, especially this movie, he knows how to balance the two things, whether is it too happy go lucky? Is it too much of a drama? I think it's almost the perfect balance. Any other positives? I think I have more. Oh, I really, really loved that photo camera effect shot. That was awesome. I don't know how they did that in the
Uh,
90s,
Remind me specifically. Sorry.
where it showed the actual, as though you're actually looking through a camera.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
And it had the I don't even know what you call it, the focal thingy rotate. I don't know photography, but I just absolutely love that. And I was thinking the entire time, just how'd they do that in the 90s? I understand digital was totally a thing. I get that, I totally get that. But how do you put that in a film? I just it's very impressive when I'm actually astounded by the technology itself. I also loved. I mean, speaking of shots and things that I really liked. I loved the wedding photo shoot where it just looked exactly like those 70s to 90s photo shoots with that deep blue background. I mean, he captured the essence of a photo in video film form. And it's just
Yep.
very impressive.
Yeah. Well, and even
Mhm.
what it seemed to me was that, funnily enough, for prop design, they just did do like a photo shoot, and then they
Yeah.
just had the camera films rolling. So of course it purposefully or uh, perfectly captures the uh, sort of lighting, the tone, the feel of it, because I think it was it. Like they did sort of have that stage designed thing. It wasn't at some wedding venue. They were literally at like a photography studio, and then
See,
they
I
just filmed the photography studio.
I think the fact that we're even having to talk about it or think about it is just incredible, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I mean, it's great. Like again, very few things from a visual or structure component, or I guess like backbone to the movie. I don't really have a problem with. Again, the problems I have are either in execution or in the writing.
That's fair. I have. We talked about humor, charm, blah blah blah. I got one more positive that it's kind of an etc., but I'll still say it. Have we lost the art form of full shots that just show the entire scene in one shot? And just you
Right,
have
not
the
like oneers,
characters.
but oneers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I mean, just the almost the setup. I feel as though modern movies and TV are obsessed with having these over the shoulder shots or only seeing one person's face the entire time. And I'm watching this movie and I see the entire scene. It's almost like an artwork. I mean, maybe not that far, but it's almost like that. It's composed in such a way, and it more than 10 seconds for one scene. I just feel as though we've lost this art of just full shots. Just here is
I'll
the
say
scene.
I don't know exactly what limitations, but if I was to just think about it for a second, my guess is a combination of a lack of dedicated prep time to building out what sort of shots you want by the directors, pressure from studios to have it, edited, look, feel a certain way because they've dedicated X amount of dollars to this thing. So you need to use those dollars, and how to use those dollars, where you have the actors and actresses be there for longer, which means they shoot their, over the shoulder ones, they shoot their big picture ones, and then the editors and the director figure it all out on the back end. So you spend a lot of the money just getting 90 types of shots rather than the two that you can afford. I think part of the constraints of a budget, when people talk about, like, even in writing, like the economy of a page and sort of brevity is the soul of wit, and these all these sayings that you hear all the time. Um, Part of that I think is baked into the filmmaking process, where if you aren't thinking about the shots that you want and you just get all the possible shots, you're going to end up with sort of a thing that doesn't feel considered, whereas this feels very considerate.
Right. You know what? You bring that up, and now you know what? Maybe it's a film versus digital thing. Maybe it's just a subtle implication of,
Right.
film, you only have, hey, you got two shots. That's it.
Right.
But digital, it's like, all right, run it back. All right, run it back. All right, run it back.
Right. We literally have the capacity to do one more day's worth of scenes. So we gotta just have to fucking lock this shit in now.
Huh. There might be something to that. There might be something to that. We might have to, I
Again, I'm
don't
sure
know.
it's very, very multifaceted. I'm just saying those are probably some of the things that explain why things are done this way. Also, again, a market that consumes this stuff, probably most people don't care or notice those things
Ugh,
when they're
I
watching
know.
stuff.
I know.
I know, and I know as well. No, I know as well, because I'll talk about how annoying it is that I did see that the fucking glass was half full and now it's full. I can just tell they edited this totally wrong.
The fact that totally random, not even a tangent, I'm just gonna bring it up. I was rewatching Murder She Wrote a few weeks ago. They had a glass of water with actual water, and I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. But back to our complaints of just movie making or TV making. It's both nowadays. Yeah, I just the recent Fallout season, I read multiple reviews and none of them talked about the editing, and it hurts me on the inside. It just
Yeah.
hurts. But that's all my positives.
Those were all mine. We hit all my points, even though I didn't really bring most of them up.
I mean,
I think that's fine. We hit them.
we'll just get the biggest negative out of the way. Specifically the Chinese cast. They were just overacting, just
Yeah. I mean,
incredibly overacted.
overacting is generous because I
Yeah.
think most of the time there was just flat out bad acting, and this is not maybe English isn't their strong suit. This is like
No. Mm-mm.
even when they were speaking in Chinese and I was reading their words,
Yeah.
at no point was it delivered in a cadence that people actually communicate with one another. It wasn't like, "Oh, dude, that's fucking crazy." It was like, "Oh, dude, that is crazy." You're like, no
Or,
one talks like that.
or it'd be, oh, dude, that's crazy.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just leveled up to an extreme of like, this doesn't match talking at dinner.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and I brought this up before we recorded. I mean, maybe I just kind of hope. I think Ong Lee was kind of constrained by Chinese acting at the time. I mean, even if you watch, I'm not saying they're, great cinema, but even if you watch Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, they are just overacted. I mean, just watch Bruce Lee act. The dude can barely act. I mean, when you look
Right.
at it from
But
a modern
fortunately, there's so
perspective,
much, right. But there's so much to those movies that you don't need good acting
right,
to enjoy it. Whereas a movie like this, it's crucial.
right. But what I'm
You
saying
care
is
about the
maybe
character.
that's just a spillover of kind of Chinese theater. Am I 100% confident in this guess? No. But I have seen Chinese movies that are super overacted. So, I mean, I'm just kind of guessing I mean, just like we American movies in the, 50s and 60s. It's hard to find a good actor back then. I mean, they can act, but they always seem to or not always, but
Right.
most of the
They
time.
really like that theatrical performance as opposed to like movie performance.
Right. So I'm thinking maybe it's just this kind of holdover from Chinese theater. I'm not 100% sure, but but that's my biggest negative. Um,
I'll say too, just
yep.
because it needs to be said, the uh what was even his name?
Way,
Gao?
Mr. Gao, Commander Gao,
Oh, Gao's the family name, right? Yeah, Wei.
Way's the son.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And Wei Wei is his
The
wife.
fake fiance. Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Wei uh
I like how I can remember
was
these names.
yeah, I don't yeah, make it make sense. Um Wei was the biggest offender in the acting bucket. And I don't want to go too much into the nitty-gritty details, but this was his first film. So I will give him a slight pass, but he was the most problematic character for me because I just couldn't believe a fucking word out of his mouth. I was like, this is just a dude acting.
Yeah, yeah, I'll even go so far as if this is his first role, why was it his first role? I is he some sort of was he popular beforehand? Is he a big I mean, was he some sort of celebrity beforehand? It feels weird that they would just kind of pick this guy. I don't I doubt there was a huge dearth of of Chinese, Taiwanese, American actors, but at the same time, they probably auditioned, a group of them, a number of them. So it's weird that a first time actor would even get into this in the first place. I don't know. A
I
little weird.
mean, I'm on his wiki page right now, and it's just the first movie, and there's literally nothing else about him except for all the movies and TV he's been in, which is a lot. But
Hmm.
this is literally the first one. And he's born in 1960, so maybe he was just a late career guy. Ong met him in some capacity and was like, "Holy shit, this guy's gonna be something one day."
Huh. Yeah, that's kind
I
of
don't.
weird.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I know you had a problem with it, but I don't have any other negatives.
I mean, it just bears repeating in the appropriate section. I won't beat it to death, but unless a rape is essential to a story, don't include rape in your story. In this one, You can argue, I think you at least alluded to it, that maybe there was some benefit to the movie, but I don't think you can argue it was essential to the movie. And that's where I'm going to draw my line in the sand and say, if it's not essential, I don't need it. And that thread could have been restrung to, again, a consensual one that even makes Simon and his relationship more complicated. And the idea of these three people living together a little more complicated. Like, again, if you just think about your partner, whether it's a heterosexual or, sort of queer spectrumy relationship, and your partner tells you they were raped, I couldn't live with that person that raped them.
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like it just complicates the whole way the movie ends. And in particular in this story, it's like they didn't address it in a meaningful way that like explores all these sort of emotional vulnerabilities. Like she was drunk too. That made it very clear she took like more drinks than he did because he can't hold his alcohol.
Right.
But
they didn't
yeah, I mean,
explore the consent at all. They
yeah,
just explored the baby.
Yes, exactly my point. And so again, gotta be a big negative. I don't care if it makes me a woke icon or what, but
I think we're way past
just,
that, John. I think we're way past that.
I am not down for non-consensual stuff in
I mean, if anyone wants to go
film.
listen to The Worst Critics Last Duel Young Thug episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're way past woke. Is that all the negatives?
That's it.
Okay, any etc.?
Nothing that I won't present in the appropriate subsection.
I just had a few. One, Ongli cameo. He was at the party. He was the one who said 5,000 years of suppressed sexuality or whatever.
Nice.
Yep, that was the man. I also like the the ending. Sorry, the beginning. It might actually even be a positive. I just wrote it in my etc. The beginning, her talking about how shoulder pain means you're old. And then at the end, his dad is reaching up. Like clearly he can move his shoulders. So I think that was a great thematic way to end the movie. Yeah, actually that's positive. Not sure why I wrote it on, etc.
Bookend.
Yeah, it was a great kind of loop around, full circle. I'll also say their home or townhouse is awesome. This 4-floor kind of home that, each apartment's kind of this own villa, or not villa, but you know what I'm saying? It's its own unit. I just think that was sick.
Yeah, that was a passing thought when I watched this, but that probably costs like somewhere around $10 million now.
Oh yeah. I'll also say the mom's gray hair was so fake it stood out a little bit. I
thought the same thing.
I don't know why. I would assume she would just have gray hair at that age, so I don't know why the makeup department decided to gray it more. I mean,
I remembered it, etc.
I mean, you just assume that actress at that age would have gray hair, so I don't know why the makeup department really emphasized, hey, she's old. She's old. So I don't know. That stuck out. And then the last one was that might be the youngest I've seen the guy from The Leftovers. He played the city hall, whatever, the guy who gives out marriage licenses. Yeah. He's the guy from The Leftovers who says they're not our dogs. And I've never seen that man young. And even in this movie, he still doesn't look young. So
right.
It's very funny. He just has that face where I don't think he's ever looked quote unquote young. But I think that's all my etc. You have any?
I know. I just recalled it. For a movie that distastefully does sex scenes, they had some tasteful nudity, and I'm unsure why they did it.
Yeah, way boobs.
Yeah,
yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
I mean, it was tastefully done. It wasn't like it didn't feel like it was
wasn't
wrong in any way. I was just like, I was just like, huh,
I forgot to write that down, but I had the exact same thought. I'm just thinking, is there just some sort of, we gotta have at least a nipple? Is there some sort of quota they had to meet or something? Too much gay stuff. We gotta give the straight guys something.
No, that's exactly kind of what I was thinking. I was like, this must be because they were like worried about being too gay. Like it just feels
I thought the
like,
exact same thing.
oh, that's too good.
Yeah, you're not
Um,
alone. I also just put traditional wedding shit as weird, but it's not even really a point. I'm just saying it.
yeah, I mean, culture in general, when you start to think about anything that is too much, you just get existential. I mean, you can get existential with it. If you happen to be friends with me, it's likely that you get existential with it.
Letterbox, IMDb, what have you?
Yeah, so wiki first, budget $1 million.
That is cheapo, cheap.
Yeah, again, not primer levels, but very tastefully used cash. I mean, because this
Incredibly
you
used.
could have. I mean, I don't want to always be the lowest common denominator we bring up, but what was that fucking shit Heartbreak Kid
Heartbreak Kid,
remake?
yeah.
Like 50 mil,
Yeah,
40 mil, something
it's
like that.
50 or 60 or something crazy. I think
Yeah, because
after
of the
inflation it
cast.
was 60 or
Yes.
something.
Yeah, and like
Mhm.
one. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Ong Lee, I mean,
Box
that just
office.
speaks to Ong Lee.
Right. Box office 23 mil. And that was
Off of Warner?
like
Nice.
yeah, and that was reported in 2018, so at least partially inflated.
Is that
Or excuse me,
international?
sorry, hold on. That was pulled in 94 and it was retrieved to wiki on 2018. So I don't know whether or not it was converted is what I mean to say. And yes, that was the international box
So
office.
I have 3 questions that maybe your Wikipedia article can answer. 1, did this release in China? And
Mm,
2, was China even a box office draw? Did they even, I mean, I don't even, nowadays, of course, it's, oh, they made 300 billion in China or whatever. Was that even a thing back then? Or were they kind of
well,
still in European markets?
wonderful question. We might have to do some offline digging and then present the facts later because I don't know, is the Taiwanese market separated from China in this time?
Totally fair. I don't know
And
the geopolitics.
are gay things censured because
Exact.
fucking bones
That
are
was going to be the
censured?
third thing because
Yeah.
that was my third thing, that if the Taiwanese thing didn't, wasn't a big deal at the time, the gay thing had to be, right? I don't know. I mean, even if you just watch the movie and its presentation of traditional Chinese parents or older generation, I mean, this movie I don't think would fly at all. So I'm just curious if they even touched China or Taiwan. Did it even grace their screens, or does anyone there know about this movie? I guess is my question.
Uh, well, the variety piece, I opened it up just to see the original source article,
Hmm.
and it compares it to Jurassic Park, which was the top grossing movie of 93. But this movie was actually the most profitable movie of 1993.
Yeah, 20
It's
times your
obviously,
budget.
yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
I mean, good, but more IMDb or whatever.
Sorry, yeah. So Wiki, just a couple other things through here. One is, I didn't know who Simon was. Mitchell
Bro, he looks so
Lichtenstein.
familiar. I looked him up and nothing. I got nothing.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Where's he from?
I remembered his name. I didn't know him. He didn't look that familiar to me. He
What's his
wrote
name?
and directed Teeth.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
looked
maybe
at his
he was the
acting
guy
credits,
who
so I don't know.
convinced them to do the rape scene. Because not only is Teeth in his repertoire, but he also did Happy Tears. If you recall that, it's another like weird horror-y thing, late 2000s.
No, what a weird guy.
Yeah, I mean, hate, double hate, loathe entirely,
I
blah
did
blah blah.
I did figure out who he reminded me of. He reminded me of a fusion between Carrie Yules, I think his name, the main guy from Princess Bride. He reminded me of a mixture
Hmm.
of him and mixing the stepdad from Santa Claus. I think if you
Oh,
combine those
interesting.
two guys, I think we'd get a Simon. I just
That is
want on
pretty
the
good.
record. I'm pretty sure if you plug those two people into an AI, we'd get pretty close to Simon.
Because that guy always kind of plays a dick too, doesn't he?
Yeah, I
The
mean, at least as far as I
stepdad.
know. But yeah, I just thought it was Like my brain could not disconnect, even because I looked up his IMDb, his acting credits, and he has an episode of Cheers, so I guess I've seen him in passing. But yeah, I did
Sure.
not recognize him at all acting wise.
And then it was nominated for Best Foreign Film at the Academy Awards. It won a
Good.
bunch of different um, uh, Chinese and Taiwanese things.
Wait, it won Chinese awards?
Well, again, I'm calling it Chinese. I don't know if it was specifically Taiwanese. It's called the Taipei Golden Horse Film Festival, and it's held in Taiwan.
Yeah, I just don't
But
know
it
enough
was
about
founded in
90s China.
1962 by, quote, the Government Information Office of the Republic of China in Taiwan. So it
Hmm.
just does feel like a Taiwanese thing. So that's why I hesitate to call it Chinese. I know geopolitically now
Right.
it's
This
technically
is,
Chinese, but
well, I mean, who
kind of
knows
complicated.
anymore? Yeah, you kind of complicated. Yeah, yeah, I'm just curious. So let's just say it, was big in Taiwan. I think that's crazy too, in a way. Just that they'd kind of accept this movie. I mean, was '90s Taiwan more progressive than now America? I don't know. It's
Um,
just it's interesting.
and then I fuck me just accidentally closed the IMDb.
Wow. Right click, reopen,
Please.
close tab. Come on. Okay, I'll fill the void with talks about China and Taiwan because I'm an expert.
Right. Well, you know what could be topical is we really go into the Iran and Israel of it all with an Israeli movie.
Or we talk
Audience would
about how
love that.
Ong Lee has directed rom-coms, kung fu movies, The
Yeah, every
Hulk,
genre.
Brokeback
Every genre.
Mountain. I mean, Ong Lee's a freaking
Oh, here
a
it was.
savant.
Okay. I was like, I remember there was something about the fucking guy, but I couldn't find it on his wiki page. The lead actor was an airline steward for 7 years, and they'd spend 3 or 4 hours every day, him and Ong Lee personally, teaching him how to act. What I couldn't find is whether or not Ong Lee found him while he was an airline steward and asked him to be in his movie. That's what I don't know.
Why is that just to save money on the Millie budget?
I mean, it very well could have been. It could have been how they saved it. You know, your lead is literally not an actor, but
Wow, Ong Lee's a scabber. Wow. What's the
and
freaking acting
then
guild gonna think about this, huh?
that's pretty much all the IMDb. Okay, Letterboxd. Well reviewed. 3.8.
Dang, still no 4. That is wild. Wild.
But you'll see this runs the gamut, and I will not read all of these. But basically, there were two opinions about this movie.
Mm.
Rape is bad,
Yeah.
or wow, this is a cute gay movie.
I mean, I think you can have both opinions. I think I
No,
have
that's
both.
what I'm saying. I think the general populace does not think that. Is what I'm getting at. Whether or not you
Oh, it's
can or can't.
an oh, they're doing or, whereas we're doing an
Yes,
either.
correct.
Gotcha. Huh.
Um.
Okay.
So, okay, what the fuck? Quote, lighthearted rom-com has a literal rape scene as a major plot point. This was, at first, an unbelievably sweet gay family dramedy with fun shenanigans, and it was really fun queer life depictions. I was so happy to have discovered an upbeat queer movie that apparently Ong Lee made with his friend, who had the exact same scenario, at least for the first half of the movie. But then, there's a scene that literally can only be described as rape. A woman saying, quote, I'm liberating you, coercively and completely non-consensually, begins to force a very drunk gay man into sex and then fades to black. That's rape. Pretty fucking offensive, completely unnecessary, and then proceeds to ramble for 3 more paragraphs that I won't read at you.
I
Half
mean,
a star.
yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know because I mean, just theoretically, I mean, whatever your opinions are on its inclusion, if that wasn't in there, would Ong Lee have even cared about the story to make it? I mean, it's just kind of
Right.
weird to. I don't know to say it's not a cinch. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird subject because I mean he's the director. I mean he's the writer. Like, without his ideas, this whole thing doesn't happen. So I don't know.
NC Graham, 1 star. Love when I sit down to watch what I assume is going to be a relatively lighthearted gay comedy drama and am treated with coercive rape.
Does the movie ever describe itself as lighthearted?
No, I don't know that the movie ever does. I think maybe some of the advertising around it and some of the general positive reviews do paint it like that, but I don't know that the movie itself claims to be those things.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I mean I saw the tags romcom and I think drama, and when the romcom stuff happened, it happened, and when the drama happened, it happened.
Right. No, agreed completely. I just mean I think when most people
Right,
pick rom-coms, they think they're light, but that's not what rom-com means.
right.
That's just what it's been, you know,
Bastardized into.
yeah, forced into submission on. In a funny enough
Here's
way,
J Lo and
coerced
Matthew
into.
McConaughey.
um, 1.5 stars by Little B. This was the cutest, most perfect fan fiction premise until that one thing happened that I can't believe no one on here is acknowledging. It sapped all the good right out of it, which is a crying shame because the ending of this would have been absolutely perfect otherwise. Um,
I don't get that. I
it's
mean, I
like
don't get
people
this.
just, I mean, it's Twitter, but people just shout from the rooftops their opinion and don't read other people's.
Yeah,
Because
no
the
one's
state, no
mentioning
one,
this.
yeah, no one on here, when I literally pulled two other examples of people who gave different ratings. So, like, I couldn't have even viewed this person's thing without specifically looking for their rating. It's
Right.
crazy. Now, of course, Letterboxd has been out for a while. I think, like, maybe some almost 10 years. So
I
it's
think 10.
possible that she or they could have missed whatever people were actually starting to scream from the rooftops, right? But anywho, these will be the last couple about it. Marina May, 2 stars. This definitely needed the remake because what the fuck? And um, Simon, 2.5 stars. Not without
Fine.
its amusing moments. Ong Lee does display potential behind the camera that he would later build on a great deal, but the acting is occasionally rough, and you can tell that Lee and his frequent collaborator who co-wrote the script with Neil Peng, and this is Peng's only writing credit, were still in the early stages of honing their respective crafts. If anything, I wish it leaned a bit more into the comedic elements because I found the melodrama at its core rather dull. So only
Mm,
person who does not comment on the thing in
Yeah,
the
I
negatives.
I like how it's either the sexual assault's the worst thing in the world or it's dull.
Yeah, dull. Yeah, yeah. I would
What?
again. I would not call this movie dull. Let's be clear.
What? I'm just. I mean, okay, okay. Okay.
Um, Again, 3 stars. Basically, this person capped it at 3 stars because they're gay, and this could have meant a lot, but blah blah blah.
I
Liberating
think
scene is
people are
problematic.
missing almost the
The
point.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not to make a happy gay movie. I mean, it's
Now,
clearly not just this happy gay movie. It's clearly not what it's trying to do. It might have elements of what you want from a happy gay movie, but it's mind-boggling. It's
now we're in the
mind-boggling.
positive. We're in the positive. So, um, I love when oh, sorry, Lindsay, 4 stars. I love when a movie has a fan fiction ass plot. Ah, fake dating, family drama, men who love men. This was so funny and sweet and touching. More queer movies like this, please.
What's fan fiction ass plot, man?
As someone who doesn't read fan fiction at all, I suppose it just means sort
Means
of like,
gay?
no, I think it means like all over the place, but I don't know.
I guess so. And then some people use
Um,
it as a compliment, and some will use it as an insult. I just, when a new Star Wars comes out, people are like, "Oh, fan fiction." It's like, well, everything's fan fiction, so.
yeah, true. Yeah, I actually prefer when it's fan fiction because I would rather not someone who hates the shit try to make it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Um, Nick writes 4.5 stars, a horror classic for the Chinese LGBTQ community. Yeah,
What?
those- I think he's trying to be funny.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Freaking letterbox, man. It's
Yep.
poison, people.
Lee does not exist writes 4.5 stars, a peep show episode with the comedy slowly and painfully hacked away as the runtime progresses. People who say this is a heartwarming film are fucking sociopathic.
I, I mean, okay. Grape.
So he likes that it's dark and twisted, but he thinks you're crazy if you think this is a light movie or heartwarming, fuzzy movie. And last but not least, 5 stars, Jorge Mole. Gays have been decorating their apartments with risque photography and posters of old movies since the beginning of time.
I mean, that one's okay. That one's not bad.
All right, that's it for everything.
All right, last thing is what can be fixed or ruined by the reboot. You know what? We might as well just ask that too.
I mean, get better actors.
Better actors.
Don't have rape if you can help it with your new plot, because it's going to be a different time and different style. I bet these are like, I bet it's going to be like in a more American Chinese retelling. Like, there's going to be American Chinese relationships as opposed to like families back in homeland and I'm navigating this brave new world. It's going to be like, they live in the house. They're still like that old Chinese generation. Maybe they only speak Chinese kind of thing. That's like kind of the vibes I'm going to get from it. But just have the acting be better and don't have the rape and I'm chilling.
I mean, or if you do have the event, address it better. Talk about
make it
the
make it a problem.
Make the problematic thing problematic. And then that's kind of a bulletproof shield just for other creatives out there. Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
If you're writing something problematic, make it problematic.
That's true. No, you're exactly right. I actually rescind my statement because to say you shouldn't include, rape in movies, if it's like quote unquote absolutely not necessary, is maybe like not the best take, because obviously horrible stuff happens to people in the real world,
right,
and having it be reflected in art is important. But yes, do it in a way that's a little more tasteful than like, oh yeah, so that thing happened. We were both drunk. Now I'm pregnant. Let's talk about that. Like
exactly.
That just wouldn't happen with 2 adults. Let alone 3.
Yeah, I mean, there would be at least more conversation. Even if it did end that way, there'd be at least a little more heated exchanges.
I need to see their logic and or emotional toils to get to that.
Yeah,
outcome.
I mean, I think it's the same as any, dark subject matter. I mean, even if you're doing murder or something, make there be a point for someone dying and not just, we killed him because that's a horror movie or whatever you want. Just. Make it have a reason, or at least make it clear to the audience that there's a reason, at least. But yeah, like you said, acting, runtime, I think was pretty much near perfect. So I'm kind of scared if that's different.
Agreed.
But I mean, that's all I can think of. I have my doubts that the direction's going to be anywhere near as good. I'm just going to call that out now. If that happens, I won't be surprised in the slightest because.
Oh.
What?
I found it was distributed in Taiwan, and it does have a Taiwan, a Berlin, and a U.S. release date.
But not mainland China.
Yeah, it does not say China anywhere.
Now that's the interesting part. Well, on that, join us in a few seconds as we talk about the Wedding Banquet, the 2025 reboot. Hello and welcome back to Reboot or Deboot. Now we are talking about the 2025 remake of Wedding Banquet, directed by Andrew Ahn and co-written by Ahn and James Seamus, who actually wrote the original or co-wrote the original. Big picture. Yep. Yep. I think
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that about says it.
No, actually, my one sentence will be: just listen to this. Don't watch this.
Yeah, no, watch the original if you're curious. But yeah, I don't think this one's worth your time. I was saying to John, it's like, you had a cool car, the original, and your tire was flat, and you go get changed, and instead of fixing your tire, they just give you another car. And it's just, I don't get it. Specific positives, I guess you don't have many?
I struggle to name one. I'll say it's interesting in a modern lens. It's the most I can say.
Wow. You're not even really complimenting the movie there. You're just...
I mean, I'm saying it's interesting the approach that they took, which is a more modern lens on, gay relationships and what gay identity is. The 90s, it's very clear. These are 90s gay men and that sort of it. And it's not, a spectrum. It's binary. You're either gay or you're not, kind of thing. And this explores that a little bit more interestingly. But again, it doesn't make the movie good for
Nope.
exploring those things. So
I'll say positive. Maybe my big one positive is that it looks nice. They kind of made it this. I mean, the best way to describe it, the most basic bitch way to describe it, is it looks kind of like an A24 film, just visually. But that's kind of. I mean, I put funny-ish, but that was at the beginning, and that kind of faded pretty quick, along with
right.
my kinda charming second bullet or third bullet point, which again faded pretty quickly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the beginning is fine. The beginning,
Um,
fine,
I'll give
totally.
you I'll give you the points for it looks pretty, but
Hmm.
I still am putting the direction in my negatives. So
Oh no, well, yeah, I think it's more visually pretty. Just, I mean, the director, of course, is a part of that, but just surface level,
I know exactly what you're
superficially.
saying. Right, good camera shots, like everything's lit well. It, it's done in a way that is clearly well intentioned, but
It, I think
ugh,
also what's kind of hindering any sort of meaningful discussion of the positives is that any of the positives it had weren't really, they didn't stand out. And especially if you compare it to the original, they were just not positive. So again, I think I've said this before. I think it was what was that movie? Sabrina, the reboot. That reboot is a totally good, fine movie in a vacuum. But when you
right.
compare it to the original, not so much. And I think that's kind of what we have here is that I think there's a good dramedy in here, but it's just it doesn't hold a candle to the original. The original had this kind of flair and pizzazz and the speed, and I mean, I said it was kind of jazzy. All that jazz is thrown out the window. No more jazz.
Yeah.
So,
My only actual positive
mhm.
is more of a absence of a negative, but no rape in this one's nice.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I don't really put it in there because I don't know. Is that a pos? I don't know.
Right, it should go without saying, I feel, but
And then what's crazy? My last positive is that the characters, were well introduced, which I always enjoy. You get a sense of a character within, the first scene they're in, and that's literally my last positive. So
uh, I mean, you could pull my fucking, you could force me down the rabbit hole of saying that the grandma of the dude was a good actress.
yeah, yeah, I guess they're fine. Yeah, I don't know.
No, her specifically. I don't
Oh,
think anyone did great, but her specifically.
yeah, I just don't know. Nothing. It just didn't stand out. Even in the original, the bad acting stood out because everything else was so great. Whereas I don't know the inverse. It doesn't really. The acting doesn't stand out even when everything else isn't great. If that makes sense. It just basically this movie did almost nothing for me. Is what I'm trying to say. The short of it. The skinny. Any other positives?
No.
I assumed the score was fine, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if it was good or I didn't hear it consciously, so I don't even think I can give it that. Um, any specific negatives? Because I got a few.
Yeah. The most egregious to me, surprisingly, was how much they tried to make this a drama.
Yeah,
And it was so over the top. Everything from the dialogue to the forced music swelling up over fucking dramatic shots, these lingering still frames of a house or a tree or a bird. I'm like, it's not that deep. This is a fucking rom com. Like, either set the tone or don't. But don't try to make two different movies edited together. It's just not good, and it's painful, and it fucks with the pacing. So that was my biggest negative.
then I'll just tack on to that because I had the exact same negative. I think it takes it almost is trying to display this sort of pensive, contemplative, just kind of that kind of movie when it didn't need to be, and it doesn't really come off that way when you're actually watching it. But it's still, like you said, it's got those still shots and the bird, and oh wow, look at this pretty shot of a bird, and that's cool, great. You can get a good picture, but does it do much for the overall vibe of the movie? Is it cohesive at all? And I don't think it is. And I'll go further and say that it lacks the balance that the original had. The original had this kind of, tightrope balance. This doesn't. It's just they fall, you know. Um I also add on to that, you talked about the pacing wasn't great. I'll just expand upon that. We didn't get the plot for, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes. What was that about?
Yeah, it was just like the life of some gay people.
Yeah, it's just here's two couples and they're gonna live their life, and here's 20 plus minutes of exposition, and then here's the plot. And I don't like that at all. I can't say
Yeah.
anything positive to that because it kind of ruins all flow.
Well, and that's exactly what I mean about the pacing and why they did this so weirdly is that if that was 20 minutes of like banger jokes, if that was 20
Mhm.
minutes of like your mindset is 2006 or whatever and it's Hangover 2006, like this could have been great to set that up. But it was literally middling everything, middling relationships, middling job structures, middling one-liners, like, they just didn't have any meat to it at all, so to wait 30 minutes to care about anything is just bad practice.
Yeah, I will also add, just, because that's the point of this podcast, I will add that the original had me laughing within minutes, maybe
Yeah.
2 minutes, and I was already chuckling or smiling. I waited the whole time, or basically the whole time for this movie to do
Yeah, no, the
that.
whole time for this movie, I didn't smile, I didn't chortle, I didn't laugh.
The
Not a good
one
movie.
joke I really liked, but it was so far into the movie that I couldn't care anymore about it, was the Kingdom Hearts joke. And
You
again,
would.
it was so deep into it. I mean, I don't even like the series, but that joke still hits. But it's so far into this weird drama movie that we're watching that it just didn't come off as funny. It was just, oh, haha, reference. I get you. I got you. I get you. Um, yeah, it's not funny. I mean, we got some amazing jokes as my grandfather's the biggest gay hater in Korea.
Yeah.
That's a
You were
punchline.
you you should spend the next year learning how to work on Google Sheets.
I'm already so good at Google Sheets.
Yeah.
It's so
Ugh,
bad.
it's
it's
bad.
it's just not funny. It's just not funny. Maybe we're the wrong crowd or something, but it's just not funny at all. It doesn't. The original felt witty. This feels just writing. Just yep. That's the dialogue. There you get that. Um, no balance, yada yada. The Again, I want to keep going back to the pace. It just felt as though we were slogging through this, and it's not even that complicated of a plot. It's not even. It's not as though we have some moral, I don't know, quandaries. Really, I mean, yeah, it kind of presents that, but just from an audience perspective, there wasn't really anything to think about. It was just, oh wow, this is a weird situation. Uh-huh. Yep, this is weird. It was just the entire movie. The entire movie. You have any more? I got a couple more.
I mean, I could really beat this to death, but I'll just leave it with just a couple of big thoughts, and if you need to expand on any of them, feel
Mm-hmm.
free. Um, don't bore me, and don't bore me in every possible way. You had boring music, again, sometimes so offensively so that it was like trying to make me feel emotions for, again, characters I didn't care about. Don't force me to, again, deal with family drama that you didn't establish well enough.
Yes, I was about to
Yes,
bring this up.
Yeah, angry grandma, sure, and now grandma's fine, but grandpa, who we literally never see,
Literally not a
not
character.
once. Sure, man, that's cool, but why the fuck do I give a shit about that? You know?
Yes, I didn't write that down specifically. I have another qualm with the character work. Yes, 100%. It's this weird invisible plot starter, and it just feels really weird. It's as though, say you're watching, I don't know, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, and you just never see the Empire. You never see
Yeah.
stormtroopers. It just it feels as though you're here for nothing because, well, okay, the grandfather doesn't want to be disappointed. Well, who's that? Who's that
Yeah,
guy?
he
I
clearly
don't know
can't be
that
disappointed because he doesn't have any expectations because he didn't talk to the fucking dude.
guy. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, man. I'll add to that the character complaints with, why did we need a fourth main? Sorry, even with the mom, why did we need a fourth and fifth kind of main character? I don't know. I think they tried to juggle too many I don't know, emotional relationships or dynamics, I guess is the better word. It was just too much of a juggling act. So instead of, such as the original, we got to know the parents, we got to know the woman, we got to know Wei, and we got to know the boyfriend. And it was well balanced. We got to know these characters. Whereas this, we have, I don't know any of their names. The main guy, the main gay guy, his cousin, his boyfriend, the Korean business gay guy, the two lesbians, the lesbian mom. It's just so much that feels as though it's vapid, it's thin, flimsy would be, I think, the right term, and just. I don't know. It's as though they thought they were adding more humanity, but they somehow took it away. It's as though it gave too many perspectives of one situation, and that just
Totally,
it doesn't help.
totally.
Um,
Uh,
hmm
I have the last bigger thought is just like the the core theme here, similar to the first one, which I don't know that they address very well, is like relationships are complicated, more or less,
right.
and maybe gay relationships are extra complicated because you have some of these, bigoted family members.
hmm
But the the whole like one partner doesn't want a baby addition to this film only made it like more muddied, like less clear how they resolve these issues. Like they still rarely had an actual conversation. It was more like they just had a longing look in each other's eyes and cuddled and they got over it.
Yeah. I was gonna bring this up in etc., but we complained that the first one didn't address, some of the ramifications. This one feels as though it did the same mistake, but
Right.
it
Without
was
the
a
assault.
sexual assault.
Right.
It just
Agreed.
kind of glossed over. She just, she didn't want kids, and she goes, oh well, when they go off to summer school or college, we're gonna live it up. And I'm thinking, is that a solution?
Yeah, that's literally a red flag as hell. Like you don't want
You
again,
don't
someone who
want
wants
children.
kids wouldn't want your co-parent of that child to not want children. You would just raise them on your own.
Yeah, and
Like you don't want
also,
someone who
right,
dislikes them. It doesn't make sense.
you're also banking on a fact that they're gonna be away for a summer in a decade, if not more. Is that
Right, to hold
really
on to
the
the
solution?
relationship. Yeah,
I just,
pretty
it
good.
doesn't make sense. And I mean, Bao and Yang and the other guy, they weren't much better. If
No,
anything, I actually think this is a weirder situation. I know that's crazy because, again, no sexual assault, but these two best friends got drunk and fucked. And then now we're
right.
supposed
A
to
second
believe they're
time, by the way.
co-parent a second time. Thank you. And now we're supposed to just kind of trust them to be co-parents. I mean, just isn't that weirder?
Yeah. And why did this like the IVF have to work? That's the weirder part. Like, why would you continue to undergo IVF? Why not just like the known pregnancy be? and the mistake can just be a shared baby with you, and these other two fucking guys don't have to have anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
right. They never implied that the third treatment happened before the announcement or the knowledge of the pregnancy. So yeah, your question is weird too. Why would they have another a twin, if you will? Not really,
Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. And also, why did they suggest what's her face? The I don't know these character names.
There was
Why did
like
they
Chris,
suggest
Angela, Min, Lee,
Lee was the
May.
Native American lesbian woman, right?
Yeah, Lily Gladstone.
Who was the other lesbian?
I believe Angela.
Angela? Sure. I don't know why the names just.
Angela.
Okay.
Angela. Yep.
So why did they suggest Angela get IVF if she got pregnant off of one try, one go? Wouldn't they have already kind of. How would you know to get IVF if you haven't been tested for that? Is that just me? Couldn't you find just a donor, dude? Like Bao and Yang? Bo and Yang? Like what? Am I
Yeah, I
crazy?
mean, no, you're not crazy at all. I don't understand about half the decisions that are made in this movie, but again, that just goes to further the underlying thing of a middling and convoluted plot that absolutely deserves to not be that. Like, the simpler they could have kept this, the more heartfelt and endearing you could have made this.
Yep.
You could have focused on the relationship stuff instead of like these weird plot lines that did not and benefit anything other than the runtime. Sure, if you had to make a 140-minute movie for some reason, I guess congratulations, but
Yeah, I'll go as far as to say I think the mother character, Angel's mother character, was just useless and served nothing to the plot other than just kind of, yeah, she had a hard time coming out to her mom. That's all I got. I mean, I get that it's, oh, she's afraid her mom sucks, yada yada, but you could have just had that with an absent mom and you'd have the exact same character problems. I don't know. Again, it's that balancing act that I think the original nailed, and this just doesn't. It falls flat completely for me. And I'm not even saying this is a terrible movie. It's a movie.
I know I am. I think this is pretty bad.
I just think it does nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't stand out. If you had seen this movie without knowing it's a remake, it might be okay, might be good, but not to me. It's a movie that's the extent of the positive acclaim is a movie. Um, I think that's all my negatives. Is that all your negatives?
That was it.
I got a few, etc., just random ones. Why did we change to Seattle, and why are we Korean?
One's Chinese, one's Korean, right?
Right, no, but why is the whole husband Korean? Why is the main racial thematic element? Why is it Korean now? I'm not sure. I just don't get it. I'm not saying,
Maybe they're
hey,
just acting. I don't know.
well, here's my question is that if you wrote it to be Korean, you're kind of losing just some of the actual beats of the original. But if you didn't
Well,
write it to Korean and then you auditioned and a Korean guy did it, like I think both options are bad.
Andrew On apparently is Korean, and his other movies are also like gay. So maybe he's just a
Uh,
gay Korean guy.
okay. I was just one. That's why it's etc., not a negative, because I was just confused why we're even doing that. Also, etc. Uh, did I forget her name again? Angela. For
Jesus Christ.
being a, plastic moth eating scientist, she seemed pretty dumb. Just
Agreed.
she couldn't think anything through, it felt like. She had no forethought or sense of, future. It just felt weird to present her as this, I assume this very smart scientist. I mean, to get hired in Seattle as a scientist can't be easy. Yet you got this woman who can't seem to make up her mind and tells her girlfriend, wife that, oh, here in 10 years, we're going to live it up. It's just, it feels weird. Um, but again, that's why it's on, etc. And then Oh yeah, my last etc. I think it's hilarious that Angela's crying and she was saying, "Oh, what if Lee doesn't come back?" And I'm thinking it's Lee's house. you know, like,
Yeah,
if
true,
anything, you should be gone.
true.
If your boyfriend or girlfriend owns the house you're living in and you guys have a big fight or whatever, you're the one who should leave.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when
Call
she's
me
saying,
crazy conservative, but
when she's saying, "Oh, is Lee gonna come back?" I'm thinking, I fucking hope so. It's our goddamn house. Oh, and that actually also brings up another kind of etc. change that I question. Why did we go from this landlord situation where they're kind of forced into it to this, they're a landlord to two guys, but one guy has actual money, so he doesn't even need to be living in the garage. It just, I don't know. It just complicated the whole landlord situation for,
yeah.
again, no
He can pay
reason.
30,000 for IVF, but he lives in a literal garage.
Yeah, and so they like him and his boyfriend live together in that garage. I mean, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. The grandson's, gonna inherit a fortune. I just don't buy that these two would choose to live in their friend's garage and then, it just
Agreed
does.
completely.
They change the dynamic, and I don't think it's great for it. But I won't put it specifically for negative. But yeah, that's all my etc. You got letterbox, Mickey.
Yeah. IMDb first. Joan Chen, who played the mom of Angela, question mark. Um, the actress actually met with Ong Lee to play Wei Wei in the original,
What?
but some funding fell through, so she took a different role before the movie could resume casting.
I mean, that's actually a really cool fun fact.
You're welcome. Otherwise, no listed budget here because it was made for Showtime and then moved over to Paramount, so we'll never know. Um,
Showtime original, Jesus.
but it made 2.3 million on box office.
Wait,
So, yeah, it got like a dual release, yes,
huh?
but it doesn't have the listed budget.
It can't have been crazy. I mean, again, since it
Yeah,
was Showtime produced, I doubt they even care about the box office. But I don't know.
right.
I really don't know. Not sure I care
And
enough to
then
even extrapolate.
right, right. And besides that, not a ton of stuff to talk about, but it was mostly filmed in Canada, which makes sense for the Pacific Northwest things. And I think
Yep.
generally, there and Atlanta are now like the premier spots because of money reasons. Like it's way more expensive to film in LA than it is these other places. So for just like geographic purposes, Vancouver looks obviously the same as Seattle or Portland or whatever
Yeah, maybe
Pacific
that's why they
Northwest.
changed the setting because I don't know
Yeah, no,
why
that's
we.
what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was one more thing. Oh, I think they did the theatrical release so it could premiere at Sundance, I think is
Ah,
why it
try to
did
get
that.
those awards.
Yeah. And then last but not least, I don't like reading too many of the critic reviews, but I think this pretty much summarizes everything that we will think. So Germany's leading art house website, Programmikino.Deutsche, writes, the remake hardly achieves the refreshing lightness and credible emotionality. Nevertheless, it's an important film in populist times. Not niche cinema, but mainstream, celebrating diversity and marriage for all. Make America queer again. And I'm like, yeah, I guess if that's the take home message, fuck yeah, sure. But
More
uh,
power to you if that's what you
yeah,
got. I mean,
yeah,
more power to you. I just, uh,
yeah,
uh.
yeah. All right. So that's Wiki and IMDb. Lastly, Letterboxd here. It's got a whopping 36 fans. It's got an average of 3.3.
Well, it's only got
Um,
36 fans.
yeah. And a couple of tailored reviews in ascending score. We've got 2 stars by Q, who writes, the jobs in this were great. One guy's job was bird watching. Another one's job was worms. The grandma worked for, quote, corporation. Lily Gladstone literally worked at Gay. And who can forget Patchwork Fabric Guy? Just incredible stuff going on.
That is good. I didn't even think of that.
She literally worked at Gay. Got
Yeah.
me so much.
That's so good. I
She
mean,
literally says, that's literally my job. Why she can't get married to a dude.
that's so good in the bird watching thing.
Yep.
I didn't even. Yeah, what job is that?
Yep.
I don't think a lot of ornithologists are making enough to fucking live.
Yeah. And if you are, you're like a researcher. Like you are literally bird watching, you know?
I didn't even think that's so good.
KYK, also 2 stars, writes, it truly pains me as a Korean American and Ju-on believer to report that I deeply dislike this. I thought none of the core cast members had much chemistry, though individually talented.
Mm-hmm.
And big emotional resolutions felt completely unearned. That plot point felt so forced, kind of life ruining, and handled much more poorly than the original, if I recall correctly. The scenes got really emotional with the older actresses, but I wanted to save them from this mess. And then, possibly worst of all, I left thinking, why wasn't this at least funny?
Yeah. That is a great question. Was it KYK?
Yep.
Great question, KYK, because I am same, super same. Because again, we mentioned it already in part 1, but that levity provided the sense of relief that made the drama hit harder. Whereas this, I don't give a fuck if you come out to your grandma. I don't give a I don't care about any of this. The original, I was almost crying when he's coming out to his mom. So yeah, KYK is great.
Amanda the Jedi, 2.5 stars. I, for one, would have dumped her ass so fast and fallen into a deep pit of depression. So, also, anytime Min is dealing with her grandma or with his grandma is a delight. Bowen also had some great moments, but everything else was lost on me.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I a lot of the grandma moments were lost on me as well, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan writes 4 stars. We almost got to see Bowen's Yang.
Nice. Good joke.
Punnage.
Yep.
I know. Carly,
Fucking
3.5
Letterboxd.
stars. Huge representation for people with inferiority complexes who also love birds.
Dang. Dang, had him in the first half. That's a good one.
And then Kate writes 3.5 stars. The only way to survive in this economy is to be part of a quadruple income gay polycule.
Nice. Topical, still works. You know, in 10 years, it's still going to work as a joke.
Yeah.
Also,
And that's it.
You know what? Let's go back to the negatives. Hold on. Let's go back just real quick. Did it almost kind of romanticize this fucked upness?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. At
the
the end,
original
when
didn't
all them
feel-
wake
yeah,
up
the
and
end.
hug.
Yes. Yes. The ending.
Let's hug. Our babies are crying. None of us want to be here. 2 of us don't even want to be parents at all, let alone married or in long-term relationships with these people anymore. Let's
Also,
hug.
I came inside her. Like, there's so many messed up things, and it almost romanticizes it. Whereas the original just kind of ends. You know, they're all embracing, and then that's it. It doesn't say, hey, this is an awesome life. Because, again, group hug, that kind of implies that they're kind of living it up. Also, where are the 2 gay guys living to have walked up out of their garage, gotten dressed, and walked up into the room in time while they're holding the crying babies? Whatever. You know. I don't even think we need to ask the question. But reboot or deboot?
Deboot. Deboot.
Yeah, super deboot. Not even close. I mean, again, this isn't a terrible movie, but when you compare it, it gets close. It gets close to a terrible movie. Got any other notes?
That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, all right. Okay, that was it for episode 22. Join us in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? timing could be a little off. Join us on the next episode when we talk about the 1997 film Open Your Eyes and its reboot Vanilla Sky. Until then, we are out of here. You didn't do your peace thing.
Yeah, I like to spice it up.
They're the worst.